There we go. It's much better when I take the cover off, isn't it? Well, good evening, everyone. Well, everyone, he says, looking at this little list here. Let's see, the important ones are here. Elaine, Kathy, Andrew Murphy, Peter Coombs, and Tracy Murphy. Good evening to you all on this rather strange evening weather-wise, isn't it? My word. We had snow here in Eastbourne this afternoon. Yes, I say snow. It certainly wasn't hail. It would not many flakes, but it was definitely snowflakes. Very strange weather. And then we had a real hailstorm at tea time. That really come down. So I'm hoping that might have washed some of the bird's nest off of my car. We're coming to that season again now, you know, when the gulls delight in doing the horizontal boogaloo, and then they start building their nest. And of course, because they're having to eat extra, where does a lot of that go when they come back from their fishing expedition first thing in the morning? Straight over our cars. Oh dear, I hate this season, but there you go. It happens every year. Anybody else sneaked in just now? Roland Bear, good evening, Roland. Thanks for coming. Welcome. Mark Burgess, good evening, Mark. He's our man on the marsh, you know. And well, Kathy and I are going to meeting tomorrow. Hopefully, there might be one or two others there as well. And I will mention it again before the end of the evening. Who else have we got? John Friend, good evening, John. Nice to see you. Yeah, Mark says it's feeling cold there tonight. We're out on the Romney Marsh. It's bound to feel cold, especially because that's the way the wind is blowing from the northwest to the southeast. Yes. Hello, Kerry. Nice to see you. I hope you're feeling a little better this week. I know you were a bit rough last week, but hopefully a better week this week. Well, I don't know what everybody's been up to since the last meeting. I can't even remember what I've been up to in the last fortnight. What have I done? Oh yeah, I went back to work last Sunday, and quite surprised it was Sunday. Why we weren't running trains on the Saturday, I don't know. But anyway, went on the Sunday. I'll be working again this Sunday because once again no trains on the Saturday. But Sunday's the beginning of half term. This week, now how's this for strange? I got myself down as working yesterday. When I was given my rosters, I was given a roster to work yesterday. In the meantime, obviously the powers that be had decided they wanted to cancel the service unless I was seeing things. So when I checked at the weekend, I found I wasn't required. I don't know what happened there, whether I read something wrong or it had been allocated and then cancelled. I don't know. But anyway, the long and the short of it all was I didn't work yesterday. But I'll be back more or less 2 days a week from Sunday. So if anybody comes down to visit the Kent and East Sussex, you'll find me at Bodrum Station every Sunday, apart from the odd few when I'm away, and most of the Tuesdays that we're operating. What have we got here? What does Kerry say? She's feeling much better. The spinning has stopped. That's good. That's really good. I very, very occasionally get that sort of vertigo thing where everything just starts spinning round. Luckily, it's not very frequent, thank goodness. Katie Dockrell's here. Good evening, Katie. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming in. Maybe that means that Daniel's not too far away. I did say hello, Pete, didn't I? Yes, yes, Pete. I'm trying to get on with it. It's not going to go along very fast, but I'll try and do a little bit, even if it's only a 10-minute video once a fortnight. You know, you'll see that I put another piece of track in. There you go. The strange thing is, though, I'm very slowly creeping up with my subscribers again, and I honestly can't think why, because I haven't changed everything. It's still the same old rubbish that's coming out. But there you go. Ian McCaggan's here. Hello, Ian. Good to see you, mate. And Rob Croser's here, a man way, way, way up north. Good evening, Rob. Good to see you. Welcome. Ron's here. Hello, Ron. Yeah, it's probably more chance of snow up in the Carlisle area than it is down here. Hopefully, there's no chance of you being trapped at Shap again in the near future. We keep our fingers crossed you're not. Yes, Mark, I'm. It's funny with model railways, isn't it? You have in your head a sort of mental picture of what you want the layout to look like. But when it comes to actually building it, oh, excuse me, when it comes to actually building it, I think it's a bit like sometimes when your eyes are too big for your belly, you know what I mean? And you stick a great big plate full of food there and you can't eat it. You want to put so much into this layout, but when you actually start putting buildings down to have a look and see where they fit, you suddenly realize how big they are. And then you think, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. Um, but I'm going to try one or two things just to see how it goes. Um, Once I've got the basic outline and all the rest of it, yeah, then I can start doing a bit of track laying. But it's just not worth it until I've figured out exactly where everything is going. Because once you put that final bit down with that final layout, there isn't really much going back. But of course, the layout's never finished, is it? And you never have enough room. Oh, Shap was fine. There was a tree across the line near Bolton. Oh dear, oh dear. There's always something, isn't there? I bet that was interesting going across Chatmoss, bouncy, 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 because that track's laid on a kind of a raft, isn't it? I would have more space in the attic, Pete, but because all the laws now require you to have all sorts of thicknesses of insulation and all the rest of it, and the fact that you've got to have planks or walking spaces up there so workers can get access to the pipes and the tanks. We tenants are no longer allowed to use the loft for anything, not even for storage. We're not even allowed up there. So there you go. There's a few in there. Daniel's here. Yeah, hello, Daniel. I didn't think you'd be far away. Oh, blimey, we've got 20 people in already. That's most encouraging, that is. You all sneak in quietly, don't you? That's the problem. So do tell us what you've been up to in the last couple of weeks, please. What have I done since the last meeting? Oh, yeah, was it last week? When was it? Boom, 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 boom. Oh no, it was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? When I met Kathy and Lewis. Good grief, was it as long ago as that? My word. Andrew Murphy says he's getting rid of his leaflets for delivery. Oh yes, he's been on a Yorkshire road trip. Yes, I saw the photo of you and your sister. A lot of people seem to like York, don't they? It's very much a go-to place, isn't it? Lane says we had a lovely visit from a friend yesterday and went down to the Martlets pub. I wonder who that friend was. And no, it wasn't me. Not this time, anyway. Pete says they're still packing the house and taking bits of the tip, getting ready to move. Yeah, it can take a time, can't it, Pete? And I know it must be very, very frustrating, but Keep the faith, mate. Keep the faith. The day will come when suddenly you'll sit there and you'll think, you know what? After all the trials and tribulations, we're finally there. We're finally somewhere that we feel content. We've got everything under control and we can move forward. You'll get there. Don't worry. You've got all of us giving you our positive thoughts, and that ought to be worth something. Oh, Rob's off to the Isle of Man. Well, one of my favourite places, the Isle of Man. Um, what are you going to get up to, Rob? Um, if you can publicly answer that question. Mark Burgess's dad went to the Watercress to see the Flying Scotsman. Yes. And I know Elaine and Ian went with Ian's cousin Yvonne, and Ian pulled out the old champagne bottle and they all had a good old drink while they were on the train. For some folk, and I really appreciate this, it is an experience. It's a once in a lifetime experience just to say they've been hauled by Scotsmen. Um, I may personally think that the cost of doing so is an absolute rip-off, but if it's a once in a lifetime thing and you're never likely to see that loco in your location again, I don't decry anybody that goes for a trip on it. They all enjoyed themselves, and that's what counts at the end of the day. They had a lovely time, and I'm very glad you did. Don't forget the strawberries. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Let's have a look. Mark's Adventures is here. Hello, Mark. Nice to see you, mate. Mark's Adventures said he had an uncle, as in like many of our uncles when we were kids back in the 50s and 60s. They were friends of dad, which meant they were Uncle so and so. Yeah, spread his trains through the house in Garage, like Wallace and Gromit. The royal, the tea arrived on the hour and a half hour. He's meeting a friend to slake his. How does it? Who has more time for landscapes? Hmm. Not sure what to make of that, and I'd better not try. But the Isle of Man, I guess you've probably been there before, Rob. But if you haven't, I think you'll enjoy it. Pete says, has anyone ever been on the Orient Express? Go, oh, that's going to cost you an arm and a leg, isn't it? Um, no, I never have. I have travelled on the Brighton Bell. I went on the Brighton Bell in the last week of service, which must have been either 1971 or 1972. I can't remember exactly when it was. A long time ago now. And I paid, I think, two and sixpence, uh, which was to supplement the travel on the Brighton Bell. It was quite nice, lovely seats, and these men in uniform kept coming around and said, "Would I like a cup of tea or a cup of coffee?" There was only one problem: I had to pay for it. I thought, well, if I paid me supplement to travel on the Brighton Bell, I ought to be able to get a free cup of coffee at least. Ah, I see. All right, Rob. Yeah, I've read the message. I'm not going to read it out in public, but yes, I uh, I understand. I understand. Sometimes these things happen, but yeah, glad for that last bit. Oh dear, Pete, if I dare drill through the walls, the council would be on at me like a ton of bricks. They won't fix my garden fence, even though I can't get out my back gate at the moment because everything's broken at the back there. But if I do something like that, I will be the one that gets probably thrown out, you know. Mark's been to Japan. He's been on the Shinkansen between Kyoto and Osaka. I bet that was an experience and a half, that. Michael White's here. Good evening, Michael. Nice to see you. Thanks for dropping in. Oh, Mark and his sister and that. Yeah, yeah, went to see Flying Scotsman when it was at the Bluebell. I don't think there's much chance of it ever coming to the Kent and East Sussex. We're not the right sort of railway for it, to be honest. It I have a feeling it's probably too big anyway. We've got a limited 25 tons per axle, which is great. It now this is going to seem crazy to you, and I apologise if I'm talking gobbledygook to many of you. There's a certain type of locomotive called a Class 37. We call it a tractor. It's a girt big diesel locomotive, and when you look at it, you think, "Wow, this thing's big." The same as the Class 50 that we had, and you think that's too big for our railway, and yet we were allowed to have them. And I said jokingly, I said, "Well, why can't we have a toffee apple, a Class 31? Because it's just a locomotive." No, you can't have that because it weighs too much tonnage on the axle. Crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. Kathy says Horsted Keynes is a good place to get photos. Now, I don't know if any of you watch the BBC's repair shop on the road, but yesterday, one of the people featured in the programme was the Kent and East Sussex Railway. I'm sure you can find it on iPlayer if you want to have a look. Now, in our museum at Tenterden, we have had this hand pump trolley that's been just going to rot for many years now. And one of our young ladies, who's the volunteer team coordinator, she had this bright idea that if she could get the repair shop to bring this back to life, they could then do a sponsored pump trolley run. And to her amazement, they took up the challenge. So the program opens and they're talking about he's going to East Sussex. And I'm thinking, East Sussex Railway, where's he going in East Sussex? Maybe they took it to Robertsbridge. So okay, fair enough. And then where do you find them? You find them at the Bluebell Railway. I'm not sure whether, well, I think it was Sheffield Park, to be honest with you. I go, what the hell are they doing at the Bluebell Railway with this? You know? So then Dominic Chimney Sweep starts his bits and pieces, and they all start talking about what was going on. And he said, I've got just the person to do the work for you. And in steps Henry Moforth, whose mother Heidi was, I think, the first lady to pass out as a steam train driver, at least on heritage railways. And they live at Horsted Keynes Station, just above the station in their cottage. Actually, she's driving at Tenterden next week, so I shall see her when she comes down to Bodrum. But there's Henry with his big sideburns and everything else. Blimey. I didn't know that he was a very skilled um, metal worker. And he did a real bang up job between him and the rest of the team, getting this absolutely spot on. And the challenge was duly done, completed, and we raised a lot of money. So all's well that ended well. I do apologise. My voice is very dry this evening, but I daresn't drink too much at any one time because you know what's going to happen at some time, don't you? So I'm taking little tiny sips and hoping I don't have to go anywhere. Kerry says, ah, Birthday present from her dad. Her and Pete are going for an afternoon, a cream tea on the Bluebell Railway. Well, I hope you really enjoy that. Rob Gross says, Kerry, can your 7 foot tall husband fit inside a vintage rail carriage? Oh dear. Is Tornado bigger than the Scotsman? That's a difficult one, Ian. Tornado is an A. Tornado is an A1. Pacific. Scotsman is an A3, and Mallard and Sir Nigel Gressley are A4s. Just trying to think. I think it is very possibly slightly bigger than Scotsman. Yes, if I remember correctly. I mean, I'm no expert on these big steam engines, but I think the boiler is a bit longer on Tornado than it is on Scotsman. But I stand to be corrected. I don't think we've had anybody else. Oh, Kathy says her station, which is Kingscote, is brilliant, especially in the summer. We can all be sat quietly in the picnic area eating ice cream. Yeah, never mind work. Let's sit eating ice cream. Now, what's this? Oh, yeah, the Shetland Carlisle line is on Kathy's bucket list. Yes, it has to be witnessed. Yeah, I was lucky because every 2 or 3 years, Lynn's Travel, who I go on my coach tours with, they do a trip to the Lake District, but it starts off with a trip on the Shetland Carlisle Railway. We overnight in Harrogate, go from Skipton to Carlisle, and then down to Grange over Sands for the rest of the week's holiday. I say I think Tornado is just very slightly bigger. In actual fact, give me half a second. Yes, Tornado is bigger than Flying Scotsman. Um, yeah. Yes, Tornado is bigger. I've just had a look. So there you are. I've answered your question, Ian. Oh, who have we got? Who have we got in here now? Oh, Claire Leach. Good evening, Claire. It's nice to see you popping in. Um, oh, have I missed Gabe somewhere? Gabe, have I missed Jeff as well? I'm the wandering ponderer. Cool, dear, oh dear, I'm out of touch with this, aren't I? Good evening, Dave. Nice to see you. And I guess Gabe did come in somewhere, in which case I am ever so sorry for missing you, my friend. This is the downside of doing live stuff, and you're trying to concentrate on what the things you need to say, plus trying to catch up with everything that's there. Um, so if Gabe is here, I'm sure he must be somewhere. Good evening, nice to see you. And Keza says brilliant news, Gabriel. So I can only assume that it's the fact that Jeff is coming over. And for those of you who do get the chance to go and see him, I'm sure everybody will enjoy themselves. I might or might not now because of where I'm going. The week he was coming to my place, I might not get the chance to see him, but there you go. Andrew Norris is with us. He's just arrived at his mum's. So I'm glad the flight went okay, Andrew, and I'm glad you arrived safely. And I'm sure we would all want you to send our collective regards to your lovely mum. Here's to Andrew's mum. You like picking my brains, do you, Ian? Is that why I've got lots of holes in it? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Ah, yes, Gabe is here. So, hello, Gabe. If I didn't see you earlier, I do apologise. Do you know, I end up finishing these broadcasts, and I feel so guilty because if it was a real meeting, you'd all be sat round the tables, and I'd be going round the tables, speaking to you all during the course of the evening and saying hello and all the rest of it. When I'm watching a screen making upward movements to one side, it is so easy to miss somebody. And I do try and catch everybody when they come in, and I do try and say hello to everybody. But after that, it's you can't involve everybody. You can't say something to everybody after that because somebody asked you a question and you answered that, and then you're talking about other things, and it's easy to miss. So once again, I will say to you, I hope I manage to say hello to everybody. But if I don't manage to say anything else to you for the rest of the meeting, please don't think it's because I want to ignore you. It's just that you haven't said anything that I've noticed, or I've missed something you said. But I certainly would not want to be seen as ignoring anybody. I think I'd rather stop doing the broadcast than get to that stage, to be honest with you. Andrew's packed his 2 plastic bags. If you don't know what that's about, Kathy, ask me tomorrow and I'll tell you. Oh dear, oh dear. Is Jeff here now? I know. I said hello to Dave, the Wandering Ponderer. Well, if Jeff's here around and I've missed you, Jeff, I'm ever so sorry, mate. Good to see you. Um, is it my tablet time? Yes, very nearly. Yeah, I'll take it now. Otherwise, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to forget, aren't I? So, one tablet. Oh dear. On the Asda Diet Cream Soda this week. After 2 or 3 weeks on the ginger beer, whew, that stuff is strong, but it's the best ginger beer you can find. Asda Diet ginger beer. But sometimes I just need something that's a bit cooler on the tongue. Jagged little reminder, yes. Right, now, 22 people. Oh, 10 likes. Thank you very much. Yes, the likes do seem to help quite a bit now with everybody feeling so many people feeling very downhearted because of these changes within YouTube. I mean, we're all basically getting about, oh, hello, Teresa. Nice to see you. Glad you come in. We're all getting about half the views that we used to, if we're lucky, because most of ours have been classified in, I don't know what their classification is, but we've all seem to have been put in this little compartment, and our videos are not recommended anywhere near as widely as they used to be. And yet I'm still creeping up 1 or 2 or 3 a week with my subscribers. That's the bit I don't understand. But certainly for virtually all of us, the viewership has gone down. So um, as Mark's Adventure said, one or two have given up completely. I know another couple who have felt they've been forced to go to members only because that's the only way they're going to make any money from YouTube, and they've given up a lot to make a living out of it. I can't say as I blame them. However, I can only hope that they get enough people who are willing to pay £8.99 a month, out of which they will only get about a fiver. But apparently the advantage of that is they get full editorial control of what they do, and they can use any music they want as long as they've got a license to use it. Whereas before that, although they were monetized, apparently YouTube were telling them, if you want to be monetized, you've got to put your videos out at exactly the same time, whatever day of the week you decide to go out. They have to approve the thumbnails, and they wouldn't let one of this particular couple play some of the lovely music that they were playing. So, as luck would have it, they do one video a week on a Tuesday, which catches up with a bit of what they've been doing. So, I haven't lost touch with them altogether. But I certainly don't feel that I could pay £8.99 a month. I mean, I'm not really tight, but I think that's £8.99 for every channel, Kerry. It's an individual thing. You're literally paying YouTube, who are then passing on some of that money to the people whose channel you are a member of. It's just one of those things. I've had my tablet. Thank you, Jeff. Yes, I've taken that. It's disappointing, especially for people, and I'm not going to go on about it because I've said all about it before. People put a lot of time and effort into making videos. I mean, my next one that's going out on Monday, it's all going to be stills photos. But in order to make a video, I've obviously had to do the research into what the photos are about. So by the time I've done all that today and got the storyboard in order, ready to finalize the video, that was 4 hours work just today. So, we do work hard to put out what we do, but I don't, what it's called, enshittification, Gabe, yeah. So we're all victims of it. So if any of you are feeling a bit down because of that, I would say don't feel down. If you do your videos because you like doing it and you feel a benefit from getting out and recording, go and do it. Stick it on YouTube, if you want to. It's entirely your choice. But if not to do it would make you start feeling miserable and all the rest of it, then I'd say carry on. But my attitude now is I do it more for my benefit than anything else, because it gives me something to do and keep me occupied. And if other people enjoy it, that's fine. I've always said, if I've made a difference to one person who's enjoyed my video, then I have achieved something. So why should I be too downhearted about it? But I know other people view that differently. So we will now move on to the parish notices. And the first one is concerning Sunday. Now, you'll find full details on Kevin's Rambles Facebook group, but Kevin's Rambles walk this month, I should say, is at Farlington Marshes, and I believe it's being led by our one and only Andrew Murphy. So if any of you want to go down there and meet up with Andrew and the rest of them, go to Kevin's Rambles Facebook group and you'll find all the details about it there. So I hope the weather is kind enough for you all, and you don't end up with another wet and windy wittering one. Right, so that's that. Now, tomorrow is our meeting in Rye with young Mark Burgess, our man on the marsh. We will be meeting at Rye Station at noon. We're not going to have a gunfight. We probably have a coffee, and maybe if there's time and the weather's nice, we perhaps might have a walk up the hill, have a look at the church, and then down past the Waitress Tower to the gun garden, so that we can see the view all the way out across towards the Romney Marsh and out to Rye Harbour. Whether we have a meal or not, I think we'll leave that open on the day to see how many of us are there. But we shall certainly have a coffee at the very least. I mean, we're going to go that way without having a coffee. So let's have a look here. A lot of work that goes into it. Yeah, Mark says he's got one going that John, your train gets in at 11:47. Mine and Kathy's train gets on at 11:47. So if you're joining it at Eastbourne or Bexhill, wander through the train and you'll find us there. All right. And I'm glad you're able to come. That'll be very nice. Now, in a fortnight's time is another meeting where we'll have another theme. I've got two more themes, I think it is. Yes, two more themes before I ask people for more. The theme for a fortnight's time will be high street shops that aren't there anymore. And I'm going to do a A4 diagram of a high street and put in lots of little boxes. And as we go through the meeting and you come up with your ideas, I'm going to fill those boxes in with the names of the shops. And let's see if we can recreate the high street as it was when many of us were youngsters. In a fortnight's time, I'll be here. But the fortnight after that, I will be away in my beloved Wales. I'm off to Aberystwyth for a week. And in my place, you will need to tune in to a lovely little channel. It's called A Moment of Murphy, because young Andrew Murphy has very kindly agreed that he is going to host the meeting. So that it will be in a month's time, on the 22nd of April, I think it is, yes, without looking. And I'm sure he'll look forward to seeing you all there. Kerry can't make it tomorrow afternoon. After all, that's a shame, but I understand why. So thanks for letting us know, Kerry. So basically, that looks like the ones that we know of. It'll be me, Kathy, John, and Mark. So at least Mark will get to meet somebody else new, which is a good thing. That's what it's all about with these meetings. As far as the coffee meetings at Geo's are concerned, I've had to make a change because of different circumstances. I hope it won't affect any of us who go. Haven't had a chance to have a word with John yet. We need to change it to a Wednesday. Will that be okay with you, John? If so, the next one will be on Wednesday, the 15th of April. Wednesday seems to be a better, yeah, it's just too far for you. Yeah, I know. I feel dreadful because there's so many lovely people and you're all so spread apart. We just cannot possibly arrange meetings that will suit all of you. I have to rely. I mean, Elaine and Tracy, bless them, they have little gatherings down in their part of the world, which is brilliant. And we have our little coffee mornings over at Geo. But the rest of you are so far spread out. It's almost impossible. I've tried to arrange meetings where as many as possible can get together, and it just hasn't worked. So I'm just trying to keep things to a minimum at the moment. But I am sort of looking at a coffee meet one Saturday. I don't know when it will be. Oh, John says you're going to check with his secretary, right? If there is a problem, John, then let us know. We'll have to sort something out. Okay. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, it's just a thought at the moment, but at some time we will be due for another garden centre meet because I know some of you like to meet at the garden centres. This time it will be at the South Downs Garden Centre over at Pulborough near Stopham Bridge, because there's a miniature railway, there's a lovely restaurant. It's a big enough place to have a wander around, and at some time we will be going there, I think. So we, those of us in the east, are going a little further west in the hope that some of you a bit further west can just make it that far east, and we can meet in the middle. So that's yes, that's about it. Yes, in a fortnight's time. Oh, it's not the end of the meeting. A fortnight's time, the theme will be shops that are no longer there in your high street. And I have a feeling I know what names are going to come out of the woodwork. And there'll be some names which you look at and you think, I'm sure I don't remember them. So that, I think, will be a very interesting theme, and hopefully we'll have a good meeting with that. Come fight with spud guns, Michael White says. John says that either we get on at Bexhill or Hastings, the bus and train times don't match up well. Yeah, Mark's Adventure says in time he might make it down there to see folk. Yeah, it'd be very nice if you end up this end of the world. Well, Pete, that's a lovely thought, isn't it? That I know what your situation is. Don't stretch yourself, okay? One of these days we'll make something. But please, please, please don't bust a gut or anything to do that. Let's get you and Susie well sorted first, and then we can take things from there. But I mean, I'm sure any of us would love to see. Well, in my case, it'd be love to see you again. um, in actual fact, in October, when Kathy and I are off to the Forest of Dean, our break day on our days travelling will be one day will be in Gloucester and one day will be in Cheltenham. Perhaps that offers a possibility. We'll have to see. Um, Mark Burgess says he has been to SDLR. Oh, South Downs Light Railway. Yes, Ian and I went there, and I think because I had my Kent and Sussex Railway credentials with me, that's how come we got invited into the engine shed and got a guided tour of all the little locos they've got in there. So that was very nice. Yes. Well, Jeff, I know it's you say you sure hope we can have one of those meetups while you're over here. A lot depends on where you're going to be. Gabe says you can have a meet and greet in Glastonbury, but of course that means that the vast majority of us over this part, we wouldn't be able to get there for it because it's just too far to come, especially for a day or for a few hours. But if in the course of your travelling, you're somewhere where about an hour or an hour and a half's drive would get you where we could meet, yes, I'm sure some of us could arrange something. Um, so we'll have to give that some thought. Mark's Adventure says he's reducing his hours to get ready for retirement. A couple of years away. Looking at trips about the UK and over the EU. Well, that's fair enough. You've got all your equipment coming together, haven't you? Yeah, Gabe says yes. Jeff came over 5,000 miles. Yes, we appreciate that. No, as far as I know, Mark, you don't have to pay to visit the pier. Cassie can tell you that because she's been on the pier a couple of times for a nice lunch in the Victorian tea rooms. I'm sure you don't have to pay. I'm sure you don't have to pay to get on the pier. Oh, free? Yes, yes, definitely free. Jeff, now I dare say they'll announce one or two dates on their show next week, Jeff and Gabe. But I know that there's one day that Jeff will be travelling on one of the Thames Clipper boats. They're going to have a round trip from Westminster Pier to Greenwich Pier, and there's an open invitation once the date is set in stone and everybody knows. There is an open invitation to anybody to go to London if they're around that day and to meet up with Jeff and Gabe and have a trip on the boat with them. The date that they're talking about is unfortunately a date that I'm still in Wales, but um, that can't be helped. But if there's any of you who would like to go and do that, I believe that's going to be one option. Mark Burgess says, "How about the Dotto train?" No, it doesn't cost a lot, Mark. I think it's something like £3.50 single, but it's something like £5 for a day ticket or return if you want to look at it that way. So it actually hasn't gone up really in the last goodness knows how many years. Because I think when I spent a summer in 2007, I spent the whole summer. My office was along the seafront. I was a conductor on the Dotto train. I had retired by then, but I went back for a season um, because I wanted to work. So I went and did the summer job working on the Dotto train, which was great. And I think even then it was only a fiver for a day ticket. So no, it's not. It doesn't cost a lot, but I don't think there's any concessions on that one. Ron says, "Where am I going?" I'm going to Aberystwyth. Ron, I'm hoping for a trip on the Vale of Rheidol Railway, and my hotel is up towards the end of the seafront, where the longest funicular railway in the country is. And I would hope that there'll be time for me to take a trip up there and get a view from the top of the Bay of Ceredigion, which is one of the biggest bays in the country. It's huge. You've got the Llyn Peninsula right at the top end, and you've got Fishguard almost down the bottom end. So it really is one of the biggest bays in the country. I'm really looking forward to that. I've been trying to work out which way we're going to go, and I'm hoping he's going to go. He's going to go Abergavenny and then up through the A487 through mid Wales, and that will be really stunning scenery to see there. Hopefully, I well, I've got a window seat, I know that. Hopefully, I'll be able to do some filming without getting too much in the way of um, reflections in it. Ron says, "Yeah, you've been there and on the Cliff Railway." Well, that's good. You beat me to it, Ron. And I know you're going to North Wales soon after that. I have been working on a few little things for you, a route there, and some places to go and see while you're there. So um, I will do that for you because I promised, and I'll keep my promise. And I'm away. I go away on the 20th of April. I go away on the Monday and I come back on the Friday. So that's okay. Ian's going to the Pulborough Garden Centre on Saturday. Well, 91, but still gardening. Good luck to him. Yeah. So I think that's all the notices we've got. Um, yeah, I'm glad there's going to be a theme for the next meeting. Things seem to flow much better when there's a theme. I hope you're all enjoying the themes. I mean, for goodness sake, if you're not, please tell me, and that's something I won't continue. But it just seemed to me that everybody was very happy. But I think to do it every fortnight would be pretty soon we get fed up with it. But I think once a month is rather nice. But if it doesn't suit you, like, don't forget this is your club. It's not mine. I'm just the Muggins who's the steward of it. Um, so please, if you don't like the themes or the idea of having a theme, do please tell me, and we won't continue. But if you do, then I'll be needing ideas from you in a few weeks' time, and then I'll remind you. So, Mark, you're off to the Gower, are you? In September. Oh, that'd be very nice. Now, Gower. That's the other side of Abertawe, isn't it? Yes. If you get the chance, go and have a look at Talachan, or in English, Lochan, which was where Dylan Thomas wrote Under Milkwood. If you're around that way, it's worth going to have a look. They don't shout about it too much, but if you've seen the film, you'll certainly get an idea of the different places where it was filmed. And of course, not too much further over there is Penderyn. I think it's Penderyn. Yeah, Penderyn Sands, where they had the original land speed records. Carries off to Llangorse Lake in the Banarbrachainiog. Yes. Oh, that'd be nice. Brecon Beacons, lovely place. I did a geography course in Cardiff as part of my teacher training, and we went up into the heads of the valleys and up out into the beacons, and we did the usual things. We went to Mine and Porthorolgoff Cave, you know, lovely, absolutely lovely. And then I was invited because I got some friends at Cardiff University. I was at the teacher training college, and for my course, and I got invited to a party in Penarth. So we're going back to 1973. Bear that in mind. And I played hooky in the afternoon. We'd been on our field course out in our coach, and he took us down to Barry, and I said to him, "Don't wait for me. Take him straight back to college. I won't be back until tomorrow morning, probably, unless I could get this late night train back from Penarth." So I found myself at Barry in a very, very sad place. There were literally hundreds and hundreds of rotting hulks of steam locomotives. And I think even the people who know least about railways have heard of Die Woodhams and the Barrier Scrapyard. I felt very sad walking through there, and yet it's funny. Some of those locomotives that I would have seen reserved for so and so locomotive society, I would have now actually ridden behind, or we've had on our railway, and that's quite something to think about that. But Di Woodhams was not the hero that a lot of people make him out to be, and he was perfectly honest about it. And he said, "I was happy not to scrap those locos, and I was happy to wait for people to be able to pick them up. But I had to be brutally honest and say the only reason that I could afford to wait was because I'd got the contract to scrap thousands upon thousands of wagons. And that kept him busy long enough for people to get their locos out of the scrapyard. Because once he started scrapping the locos, that was more or less it. Those that weren't reserved were lost. Um, But yes, it was a very emotional experience walking through Barry Scrapyard. I then went to the party in Penarth and probably had a little bit too much Ballinboyle Double Dragon, but that's another story. Uh, now, Alison. Hello, Alison. Your neighbour has threatened to make your life hell? I'm ever so sorry to hear that. You've What's with some people? What is with some people? Let's hope that that can get sorted, Alison, pretty damn quickly for you. Oh, Mark says the definite place on your tour as a yeah. Well, we didn't get the chance to stop there. Unfortunately, we were on our way back from Penderyn Sands, and the coach driver, Pete, bless him, Pete, our coach driver from Linz, he wasn't very chatty on that particular trip. He said absolutely nothing about Telachar, which I felt was a shame. I mean, most people had nodded off by then anyway, but he could have slowed down a bit. But anyway, never mind. I've been through there. That's the main thing. I've been there, even if I. Michael White, he has to come up with one of the jokes, doesn't he? Here we go. Here we go. Here to die, gone tomorrow. Bless you, Michael. We the place wouldn't be the same without your jokes. Tracy says they've been to that beach. Oh, that really was nice of you, Mark, wasn't it? Reading for them. Kathy said, "What happened to all of those engines?" No, Kathy, they weren't. As I say, that was the graveyard. But as I said to you, as I was walking through the lines of locos, they were reserved for this society or reserved for that society. I wouldn't like to say categorically, but I'm sure I probably saw Camelot, as it is now, was reserved for somebody. Um, and as I say, almost all the ones that reserved, I think, actually got out and have got. Some of them have probably never been restored. Some of them have been. They're out of boiler ticket. They may never be restored again. Um, but as I say, the heritage railway world owes a great deal and a great debt to Di Woodhams, even though, as I say, he did not save the locos specifically for preservation, but was sympathetic to the preservationists, and he had enough work doing other stuff to be able to hang on before he started turning to the locos. So I would have thought out of all them locos that were in there, maybe most of them were scrapped. I mean, I suppose if you look at the numbers that were preserved compared to the numbers that were withdrawn, yes, probably there were only a finite number. But the point is, he gave them enough time to preserve them. And without that, you wouldn't have half the heritage railways you've got nowadays. Ron says, not Lynn's Travel. No, no, not Lynn's Travel. Stephen offered trouble. He's the name on the legal lettering. I've known him since he was knee-high to a grasshopper. If any of you haven't seen the film Under Milkwood, I recommend it. It's a good film. It's a bit naughty in places, but not offensively so. If you follow my drift, it's in keeping with the writing. So yeah, if you get the chance to see the film, you've got what's her name, Morning Campers in a cameo role. So it's definitely worth it. And do you know it is 9 o'clock already? I wondered how I I was wondering how I'd get through this hour. Do you know, the perils of doing a live broadcast, especially one like this, is obviously you never know what people you're going to have coming in. You never know what people are going to talk about. You're out on a limb, really. You're trying to play it by ear. You don't want to bore people with the sound of your own voice, but on the other hand, you're almost begging people to say something that you can at least talk into. Um, but we manage it. We manage it. And as I say, having a theme once a month makes my job an awful lot easier. Ruth Maddock, that's the one. Yeah. So, yes, Nostar, ET, Mark, good night to you. And I think I will, on that note, say good night. Don't forget, in a month's time, not a fortnight's time, in a month's time, you'll need to tune to A Moment of Murphy. But more importantly, next week, it's Gabe and Jeff's broadcast. So do tune into um, live from the tour to see those gentlemen. And I'll be back here in a fortnight's time, as I say, when the theme will be high street stores that are no longer there. So get your thinking caps on. I look forward to seeing Cassie, John, and Mark tomorrow. And hopefully we can confirm Wednesdays for Geos in future. And if that's the case, the next one will be Wednesday, the 15th of April, just so you can put it in your diaries. So I will say good night. Thank you very much for coming. I do hope you get sorted out, Alison. That is very sad news to see tonight. You don't deserve that. So let's hope things go okay. And yeah, I'll see you at the station tomorrow, Kathy. Yeah, hopefully I'll be there in time. Stagecoach buses permitting. Um, and yeah, thank you all very much for coming. Whatever your situation is, I'm sure myself and all the rest of the club members, big hugs for everybody. That's all we can do. But if there is anything else we can do let us know. And I'm sure if it's within our power, we'll try and do it for you. So I will say good night. Thank you very much. And we'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.